My wife announced she was leaving me at dinner. Then she went pale when she saw who entered. It was supposed to be a quiet Friday night. After weeks of distance and tension, my wife, Jessica, suggested we go out for dinner to talk. Her tone was calm, almost rehearsed. I didn't expect much. She'd been cold and distant for months, always on her phone, always working late. Still, part of me hoped she wanted to fix things. I put on my best shirt, made a reservation at her favorite Italian restaurant in Portland, Oregon, and tried to believe we still had something worth saving. But the moment she sat down across from me, her eyes cold, fingers tapping the wine glass, I knew this wasn't reconciliation. It was an execution. The waiter had barely poured our drinks when she looked up and said, "Daniel," her voice steady, "I'm leaving you." No hesitation, no tears, just flat, brutal honesty. I stared at her, searching for any sign of remorse. There was none. "I've met someone else," she added, as if confessing to switching coffee brands. "He makes me feel alive again." Strange calm washed over me. Not shock, not anger, just clarity. I set my fork down, leaned back and asked softly, "So, this dinner was for what?" "Closure." She nodded, relieved I wasn't shouting. "I didn't want to end it badly," she said. "I want us to be civil." Civil. That word stung. After 10 years of marriage, I was being dismissed with boardroom politeness. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a woman who'd already moved on emotionally, perhaps even physically. Her hair was styled differently, her perfume unfamiliar, her phone lighting up every time minutes with messages she pretended not to see. "What's his name?" I asked, though I already knew. "Doesn't matter," she said quickly, glancing around the restaurant. "I just need to be honest with myself." I smiled faintly. "Honesty is a good start," I said. "You might need it in about 2 minutes?" She frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I didn't answer. I just looked toward the entrance, where a tall man in a gray suit had just walked in. The same man whose photo I'd seen pop up on her phone 2 weeks ago. Her business partner, her late-night project manager. His name was Ryan, a married father of 2, and my wife's new beginning. He hadn't noticed us yet, too busy helping a woman out of her coat, a woman I instantly recognized as his wife, Claire. When Jessica turned and saw them, the color drained from her face. Ryan froze mid-step, his hand still holding his wife's purse. For a few painful seconds, all 4 of us just stared at each other. I could almost hear Jessica's heart pounding from across the table. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. I leaned in, keeping my voice calm. "You didn't think I'd invite them, did you?" Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You what?" she whispered. I smiled, sipping my wine. "When you started acting strange, I did some digging. Turns out Ryan's wife had her own suspicions. We decided to have a little dinner meeting." Claire looked straight at Ryan, her expression caught between fury and heartbreak. "So it's true," she said quietly. Ryan's jaw clenched. "Claire, please. Not here." But she cut him off, her voice rising. "You said the business trips were over. You said you ended it." The entire restaurant went silent. Jessica's hand trembled as she reached for her napkin, pretending to wipe her mouth. But everyone could see the panic in her eyes. I sat back, watching the scene unfold. No shouting, no gloating, just quiet satisfaction as lies unraveled in front of everyone. Finally, Jessica turned to me, desperate. "No, she'd be here," she whispered. "This wasn't supposed to happen." I tilted my head. "You mean, getting caught wasn't supposed to happen?" I said, "But it always does. Lies have terrible timing." Ryan tried to grab Claire's arm, but she shoved him away, tears streaking down her face. "You can have him," she spat at Jessica. "He's yours and good luck. He's been cheating on me for years." As the chaos unfolded, I stood, dropped my napkin on the table, and left a few bills for the meal. Jessica reached out, her voice cracking. "Daniel, wait, please." I stopped just long enough to say, "You ended this marriage the moment you decided I wasn't enough. I just gave you the stage to say it publicly." Then I turned and walked out, leaving her and Ryan sitting in the wreckage of their own making. Later that night, Claire called to thank me. To see it for myself, she said quietly. I would have never believed it otherwise. We talked for an hour. Two wounded people sharing the same kind of pain. There was something oddly comforting in that. No romance. No plans. Just understanding. The kind that comes from surviving the same betrayal. The next morning, Jessica showed up at our house in Salem, Oregon, eyes red, makeup smudged. I'm sorry, she said between sobs. It's over with him. I was stupid and I lost everything. I nodded, unmoved. You didn't lose everything, I said. You gave it away. She begged for another chance, but my answer was simple. You said you wanted to be honest with yourself. Stay honest. This is who you are now. Then I closed the door. In the months that followed, I rebuilt